I call this BZA Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. Mr. Ron would like to have a minute, and then I'll continue with the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. I have a couple of things to say tonight, and I appreciate you giving me this time. First of all, I think each one of you know Miss Ann is retiring. This is her last week here, and I just want to say how much we appreciate everything she's done for Newberry County, for this board, and for the Planning Commission. And so we appreciate her service to Newberry County and all of us. So I wanted to bring that before you tonight. And also the second thing is Miss Katie Wirtz is here with us. She is the new zoning administrator, and we welcome her here and thank her for being here too. So she'll start, she's already started, but it'll be hers next week. So we appreciate her being here. Thank Miss Ann for all her work and all her years of service. So we appreciate it, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ron. All right, we have some housekeeping. Cell phones, if they are not off, please have them muted so we will not be interrupted. We have a lot of company. We want to be fair to each other. Also, if you are speaking or plan to speak, please make sure you are signed in with Miss Bridget, and also consider yourself under oath. If you're going to speak, we ask that you stand. You'll go to the podium like Mr. Ron did. After you're recognized, state your name and address for the record, and then you will have 3 minutes. We're limited to 3 minutes. And I think that's all. The first order of business is the approval of the minutes from the May 4th meeting. I certainly hope everyone has had a chance to look over them.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the minutes as presented to us.
Miss Ann gives us a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Ty. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved as printed. There is no old business. The first case is case number VA01-06-01-21, a variance request for a 14-foot front yard setback for the placement of a 24 by 36 open carport. The property is located at 2012 Hollins Landing Road, Prosperity, South Carolina, tax map number 594-4-9. Miss Ann.
Okay, I am not sure if you can see it on the screen. That parcel there. You can see it more clearly. I hope.
Exhibit C.
Exhibit C, which is the GIS map. It is also drawn on Exhibit C kind of where these structures are going to be placed. This is near the end of Holland's Landing Road. It's where Cottney Road, which is a private dirt road, meets Holland's Landing Road, and it's towards the end of the road. And you can see on Exhibit C how the road right-of-way is much wider near the top of the picture, and how it narrows at this point because it's getting towards the end of the road. If you look at exhibits D1 through 4, you will see that this is an extraordinary piece of property. We don't usually see pieces of property like this. There has been a very strong retaining wall built to make the area flat. However, now on Exhibit D4, you'll see there's a concrete pad, and I believe that is where they're looking at placing this carport, which will actually be at 14 feet from the road right-of-way. The concrete pad isn't visible from the road because of this retaining wall. Exhibit E is a diagram showing some of the measurements of the parcel in question. And those measurements replicate those in Exhibit C. I want to give you time to look at these pictures so you can understand them a little bit. Then I have a letter I would like to discuss with you. And then, of course, we can have any questions you might have, I can answer at any time.
Does the board have any questions of Miss Ann? Yeah, I was just making sure there was no questions.
Okay, I asked Bridget if she'd make copies of this letter for all of you to look at. I will read it so it goes into the record. It's somewhat lengthy compared to some letters that we put into the record. I will say ahead of time, some of the observations made in the letter are not something that you as a Board of Zoning Appeals deals with. So I'm still going to read it into the record, but you're welcome to discuss aspects of it, but it's not necessarily things that are in your, to do with the zoning ordinance. Okay? So this letter is actually directed to Ms. Fain, our secretary. It says, after careful review of the situation, I do not see a reason for the board to approve a variance. Strict compliance with the ordinance does not seem to totally prevent improvement to the property in a manner which is reasonable, customary, and consistent with other properties in the area. Nor does compliance cause practical difficulty in applying the standards. It seems that the neighbor simply wants convenience of placing a structure where he wants it. It was his choice to allow renters or friends to park an RV behind his current RV. If he is having difficulty with placement of a structure, he has other choices, like moving the second RV. I am super concerned about devaluation of the lot I own at 2034 Holland's Landing Road. By allowing a structure to be placed closer to the road, it allows a dangerous precedent for other violations. We are trying to build up values of our property in the area, not tear them down. Keep in mind that my lot at 2034 Hollands Landing Road is not lakefront. You indicated that lakefront would not devalue as a result of this, but we are not considering my property at 2056 Hollands Landing Road. We are considering the property at 2034 Hollands Landing Road. This is right next to the RV park that you permitted. Was the mountain he created approved by a county engineer? He hauled fill dirt and built some form of wall structure so that he is higher up on the property. I am concerned that the wall was not approved by engineers and will fall, further devaluing property at 2034 Hollands Landing Road. Certainly you had an engineer approve the wall. I am not trying to be unneighborly. I only ask that each of you consider following the zoning ordinances as set to protect my property and others around me. I am not sure that I can be at the meeting on Tuesday as I have work conflicts. I am sending this letter to express my concerns in the event of missing the meeting. Best regards, Angela Scott.
And this letter is submitted into the record.
Okay, I'll be happy to answer any questions. Comments from the letter too, if you wish.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Ann, just more out of
Certainly,
curiosity.
sir. Please.
Not necessarily a part of this, or what we're here to review this evening, but, and was the wall and all that, was that submitted for approval and approved by county for improvements?
There is nothing in our zoning code for a wall like that. So even if it were submitted, we do not have a county engineer, and there's nothing in the zoning code.
There's none in the zoning code, okay, all right.
Ms. Ann,
Yes.
I may have missed this, but what was, after the staff went out, what was their assessment of?
Oh,
Okay.
right, I didn't say that. You did not miss that.
Thank you, Mr.
Staff visited the site, and the staff is in agreement with granting a variance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe in the letter it referred that we improved the RV park. I don't recall, and I've been on this board of zoning bills a long time. I don't remember doing any action.
I've been on it since 2000, and I don't remember it.
This is not an RV park. I believe this is RV campers that are being parked for recreational use on private property. It would not qualify as an RV park. You can park a camper and use it for recreational use, or an RV, not just a camper or RV, and you can use it for recreational use. You cannot live in them as your primary address. But if you have a lot of family members and they all want to park on your property and you give them permission and no money changes hands, we do not have anything in the code against that.
Any other questions for Ms. Ann? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ann.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone here speaking in favor of this variance request? Okay. All right, one at a time. I saw the gentleman in the far, in the pink by Mr. Mark. If you'll stand, and are you signed in?
I'm signed in.
Okay. So, Mr. Mark, you're going first.
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
Yes, sir.
My name is Mark Sloan. I live at 2001 Hollands Landing Road. The property in question is pretty much right across the street from mine. And I mean, we're here today for a few feet where a guy wants to put a carport. I mean, we're not talking a strip club. We're talking about a little carport right there on his property. So his camper, he just has his one camper on there and his brother has one in the back. There's no RV park. There's no renting. There's nothing going on there. Just two And they're like fifth wheel things parked like this, and he wants to build a carport roof over his. And he's done nothing but improve the property. I've lived there since 1996, and that's the best that yard has ever looked. That's all I got to say.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Sloan. All right. The gentleman beside you, you also wanted to speak, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you are signed in as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please come to the podium, state your name and address.
My name is Jeffrey Lewis. I live at 306 Charlwood Lane, West Columbia, South Carolina. I'm the property owner of 2012 Holland's Landing Road, Prosperity, South Carolina. Whenever I bought the place, it had a double wide there, had 4 old buildings. I don't know, 17, 18 trees, big around like this, done and fell over, dilapidated the road. You couldn't even get in and out the road. I bought the property, I had it cleaned up. I put the road in myself. I didn't ask for nobody to help me. I paid and had the rock put in to make it so we could get in and out. Everything I've done there has been an upgrade to the community. I've got 5 witnesses here with me today that are on waterfront property that live right straight across from me. I can stand on my land and see theirs. They telling me, Jeff, yes, I want you to put the awning there. It looks better. You got the place looking better than it's ever looked that I've ever seen it look. And as far as the fence you're talking about, I come to Newberry County and asked them about building a fence. They told me I didn't have to have a permit to build a fence as long as I stayed inside my property lines. Well, where I had it surveyed, I'm off the property line, some places a foot, some places a foot and a half, some places 6 inches, but I'm in my property. Nobody specified to me how to build my fence or what to do. I mean, whenever I built this fence the way I seen it. Well, my dirt just kept washing into the road because my dirt bank was down just like that. Well, whenever I built the fence, I went ahead and I boarded it up, and I guess that's what they call a bulkhead. But I poured concrete footers, I put anchors in, I drilled holes through the post, put nuts and washers. I bolted it tight. Falling down. Well, yeah, hurricane. I mean, it can be tore down, I guess. I guess it can, but it ain't gonna just fall down on its own. And what I'm saying is, I know that I live in a place, that I got a place down there that's where people's got $500,000 homes. I realize that. That's why I didn't go out and try to buy a metal awning that costed $2,500. I went out and bought one that costed $5,500. I got an A roof. I got vertical roof. I got vertical gable ends. I mean, I made it nice because of the nice places that was in there. I didn't try to skimp on no money. And that's all I got to say is I've tried to do good and make the community better because my camper can stay. And by not getting awning don't mean the camper's going to come out. It's just going to look better if I get the awning. Right. And that's all I've got to say about it.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Ryan, you are timing for us. Okay. All right. Coming around this way. Yes, sir. You are signed in this way. Please come to the podium.
Knee replacement a little slow.
That's all right.
My name is Cully Lohman, Ray Lohman. I live at 2067 Holland Landing Road, which is just rocks throw from his driveway. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak with you all. The distance that he is considering, and as Miss Ann said, that there are street guidelines, and we all understand that. But this property that he has fixed up, before it was, like you said, it was a trailer there that had not had anything done to it in many, many years. A really eyesore. And he went in there and made a really nice looking area. I think what we're asking for is the people that live there is not defacing any of the value of the properties. He's improved the properties down there. There's been approximately 5 new houses been there since I was there. I've been there since '96, and I built a house in '08. And I think just the leniency of this would help him as well as being a neighbor. I just met him some 4 or 5 months ago. But I think that the leniency, there needs to be some leniency on this. It would be different if he was putting up an old pole building made out of telephone poles and cedar posts, but he's not. He's spending money. He spent a lot of money there with his concrete and all, and we're just asking for leniency for him. And there's other properties there that need some help as well, and I'm sure in the near future they'll be upgrading because there's been about 5 houses built. And again, just wish we could get some leniency, and I'd like to tell Ms. Ann congratulations on her retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, coming around this way. Yes, sir.
My name's Robert Neely. I live at 2097 Hollins Landing Road in Miss Peters. Enjoy doing lots of work with you this past year, building a new house down there. Just built a brand new house. I go by his every day. I got to know him by just stopping in there when he started doing his wall, and knew him a little before. Actually, he let me stick my motor home up there for a few days, you know, when we first started tearing our other house down to build a new one. I just kind of look at it like you go to Ocean Lake, and Ocean Lake used to have all these campers down there, and what do? They prettied them up. They started putting things over them, because we know campers, if they're going to stay out in the sun, it's going to get lots worse. And now the zoning, you can put a camper or any camper you want there, you know. So it's just going to get worse over a period of time, and we see that in the area, the ones that are just sitting there. All he's doing is putting the same thing, other people here probably got a camper, and you put it under an awning. It's just going to be a drop-down awning. It's going to be under it, and it's going to make it. But he's done an awesome job on the property and the work he did on the wall. I couldn't believe the rebar and the stuff he did that tied off 10 foot back. Yes, you know, it's not like all the houses, but hey, it's what it is. But it's a dang nice one. And what he's doing, I think it's just going to make it better, look better, and it's going to last lots longer. So I'd like for you to work with him all you can. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neely. All right, coming around this way. You, sir. And you are signed in. I'm signed in. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Bridget. Yeah.
My name's Max Swain. I live at 2053 Hollins Landing, right next door to Ray, and he's kind of diagonally off across the street from me. And Miss Amy over there lives right across the street from me. I mean, we're all pretty close group in the neighborhood there. And I'm like, Ray, I hadn't known Jeff that long, but getting to talk to him and everything, what he did up there, he cleaned the place up pretty good. And as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of stuff on that road. It's just not up to par. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be tore down. There's stuff up there. I'm not going to point fingers at anybody, because I ain't perfect myself, but there's a lot of things that we have bigger fish to fry than worrying about a carport going up on this little piece of property there. And I saw him put it together, and I watched him when he poured the concrete in there. He didn't pour just a little 8-inch foot or anything like that. It was deep, this wide, and he put bolts all the way through that wall out there close to the road, big bolts, about 1 inch in thickness. And they were about 6-7 feet long, going into the concrete and bent down in there. I don't know a hurricane could rip that thing apart, but he spent a lot of money in gravel, the concrete that he poured up there for the pad and everything. And I understand about restrictions, and I went through it myself when I built my house back in 2008, brand new. But I also had a park model camper there while we were enjoying the lot before we built the house. We parked it out there to use. Now, I had another home in Chapin. Nobody ever said anything to me. And there's a little camping facility right up the street there. Just got a dozen or so campers on it. Close little communities is what I'm saying, and I know most everybody down the road. And I'd like for us all to get along. I mean, there's always somebody that's gonna have a problem with something. But, you know, heck, I voted for Trump, but I'm not gonna be mad at you if you voted for Biden. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, we're all people and we all, you know, need to get along.
Yes.
But anyway, I don't have a problem with it. I hope it works out for you.
Thank you, sir. All right, coming around. Yes, sir. Were you able to get signed in?
I sure did.
Thank you. And follow suit at the podium, please.
My name is John Bolos. I actually live directly across the street, and all I want to say is I watched what he did. I watched him put the wall up. I watched the fill come in. I watched the time that he took in doing it, and I don't have a problem. It's dramatically improved from what was over there, and a lot better than most of the stuff that's on that side of the road. But I am his neighbor directly across the street, and I hope that he gets a bit of leniency because he definitely improved what he did and what was there. So I'm 2007 Holland's Landing Road.
All right, thank you very much.
And thank you for letting me talk.
All right. Is there anyone else speaking in favor of the variance request? All right. Is there anyone speaking against the variance request? We have had a letter read into for the record. Is one. Yes, sir. Please join us at the podium.
Good afternoon, fellas. I voted for Trump too. I guess what I'm here for is.
Your name, please.
My name is Steve Morrow. I'm originally from Union County, but now I live at 460 Gold Nugget Point, Prosperity, South Carolina.
Thank you.
I'm here representing Ms. Gregory and Ms. Tipton over here, who are, Ms. Tipton's hard of hearing and up in age, and they've asked me to convey some of their thoughts. I'm not as much opposed to the building as we are with conserving our or their property and ingress and egress to their property. Ms. Gregory is the lot next door going inland. It would be approximately where the road narrows going in on the same side. Ms. Tipton would be directly behind his property. And she uses Cottney Road as her ingress and egress. We are concerned that this may cause a problem with traffic on Holland's Landing Road, as it does narrow here, and getting in and out on Cottney Road, as it would influence that also. Ms. Gregory has a plan to, at the near future, to put a driveway in directly off of Holland's Landing Road onto her property. And that part is our main concern. Not that he's putting up a building, but that this variance would influence our property and the use of it. I guess that's basically what I have to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have a question though. So the ladies that you are speaking for, one is at right beside him, would that be 594?
No, it was 2000 Holland's Landing Road.
2000, okay.
And Ms. Tipton is on Cottney Road, which is the private road going in beside.
And directly behind Mr. Lewis?
Directly behind, yes.
Okay, so, all right.
Sir, I have a question. We're building a carport, how is that gonna affect traffic?
Yeah.
Well, if you've already got an established right-of-way there, and you're having to agree to a variance of it, that's gonna lessen the, right-of-way, is it not?
I beg to differ because of what's already there.
All right. All right. Ms. Bridget?
Yes, I'm the zoning inspector, one of them, and it is not, in violation of Cottney Road. It is off 25 feet from Cottney Road.
So,
The
okay,
variance is coming,
back towards his property.
the variance is coming from Holland's Landing Road.
Okay, what,
Cottney Road is fine.
just for my information, what is the, right-of-way, distance listed on Holland's Landing Road? It's 25 feet from the center line? What is this now? So, but I'm saying, what, okay, but the right-of-way, the established right-of-way from Holland's Landing Road is how many feet?
Wait a minute, just bear with us, please. We try to see if we can get one handled, then yes, sir, I'll be right back with you.
Okay, so we'll be here, though, we'll be, okay, this is the narrow portion of the road. To 50 here. So we're cutting it down to 44, is that what we're doing? 34? 45 from the center line.
All right?
Well,
Did Ms.
Then
Ann-
we are taking away from it.
There is a variance, yes, for Holland's Road, yes, sir.
Not Cottney.
All right. Did you get your question answered by Ms. Ann?
I did, but
All right.
Mr.
I
Long
understand
told me-
what you're saying, that's
All right.
correct.
All right. Yes, sir, you
I
have,
don't know if you can, I didn't get the information that y'all are looking at, but I don't know if you can tell from the pictures. But the level where he parks that camper and where that concrete pad is, if you're standing in the road, it's 6 to 7 feet up above the road on the hill. By the time he puts that awning up, it's not gonna block anything.
yes, sir. We have pictures of that, okay. All right, we're digressing. All right, we will get back with you. Now, is there anyone else here speaking against the variance? Speaking against the variance? All right, now, Mr. Lewis, you had I take it to be a rebuttal, please, at the podium.
Sir, you know,
Point
you're
of order.
talking Cottney Road. You got the camper that's beside me that uses Cottney Road. You got the, woman that owns the mobile home behind me that uses Cottney Road.
Yes.
And these two homes, the man owns 5 acres and the other owns like 3.5 or something. And counting myself, there's 5 people that uses Cottney Road.
Yes.
I just wanted to clear that up, that there's 5 people that use that road.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know that there wasn't gonna be no traffic like what comes down Holland's Landing. I mean,
That's right.
it's just a secluded place.
All right. Thank you. Whoa, wait a minute, ma'am. All right. Now, if you would like to speak, if you're signed in, please address us at the podium. You are signed in? Thank you.
My name is Angela Scott, and I wrote the letter in anticipation of not being able to come tonight.
All right,
I have the property at 2034 Hollins Landing Road and 2056 Hollins Landing Road,
20,
56. And the road is used or will be used by 2 other houses. There's not just those homes, there's easements for 2 other homes that he's not considering that have been blocked by the RVs that go there all the time. Secondly, while I appreciate everybody sticking up for this gentleman, and I'm sure he did a great job, he's not an engineer, and these people aren't engineers regarding the wall.
ma'am, that's not why we're here. Stick
Okay.
to the topic,
Okay?
please.
Thirdly, I've consulted real estate agents, and by putting a permanent structure there, it does devalue the property. And that's my biggest concern, is to lose my investment. And cleaning up your property is just a common thing that everybody should be doing. It's not extraordinary. I mean, I clean up mine all the time. I've cleaned up the lot at 2034 Hollins Landing Road. That's just something that, as neighbors, we should be doing.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you. All right, is there any,
I got something I'd like to show you.
all right,
Now,
Mr.
this lady
Lewis.
here that just talked, she does on that empty lot.
Okay,
But right here's the building. This here's the road that I put in before you got that road. You was driving through ruts that deep. That's the county. This building here is her building. That's right, but it's been there for a while, but it
okay.
ain't five
So I
feet off
just-
the line.
You see that? I'm gonna send it down, please.
This here's pictures of the places that's in here that I just took pictures of. And these are the people that testified, Robbie owns that house. This here's another rundown house.
I'm gonna send it this way.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right, here, we'll just let the board see them.
That's another rundown house.
Yes, sir.
You see this right here?
But again, Mr. Lewis, we're digressing. We're not referring to.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
right.
but-
Here you go, here, you can keep the pictures. I took them for y'all, I mean.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate what you're saying. But this body is looking at a variance for the 14-foot front yard setback for the placement, and I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Wait a minute, you need to please, if you want to pass these down. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I was always thinking basically the portable structures that you just put in your side yard and that, they're not permanent. People sell them all the time. They'll call you up on the phone, says you come take it down, take it with you. You know, it's no different than putting 3 Leonard buildings, and what worries me more than anything, we all old, but they're not party people.
Yes, sir.
Ain't no telling what could be sitting on that piece of property if he gets mad and leaves.
That's right.
On there.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone else right now? Now, all right. I have a question directed to Mr. Lewis. This carport that you're asking for the variance to put up, it is a open carport?
Yes, sir. It's just got a roof on it, yes, sir.
Okay. But- All right. Does this board have any other questions would like to ask of anyone? All right, ladies and gentlemen. We have listened to the staff report. We have listened to the pros and cons of the neighbors of Mr. Lewis. But we must also consider Section 153.052 A through F of the zoning ordinance, and 153-052C 1 through 5, which is, 1, there are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to a particular piece of property. 2, these conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity or in that district. And 3, because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to a particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict use of the property. 4, the authorization of the variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property or the public good, and the character of the district will not be harmed by the granting of the variance. And 5, the effect of the variance would not allow the establishment of a use not otherwise permitted in the zoning district, would not extend physically a non-conforming use of the land, would not change the zoning district boundaries shown on the official zoning map. Having said that, with the board considering the staff reports and listening to our witnesses and the code, does this body have a opinion?
I move the approval of the variance.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Longshore moves to approve. Mr. Boland seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the variance say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Lewis, your variance is approved. You need to get with Miss Ann, Miss Bridget. There is still a period of time before anything can be done further. You're welcome. The audience is welcome to stay. We have no other business. We will have some things that we want to take care of. And thank you for each of you. Please exit quietly, please. The next scheduled BZA meeting is July 6th at 5:30. Do we have? We have business. Okay. And last, Mr. Larry Longshore would like to speak.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate it. I just wanted to take this opportunity as a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals for a number of years, I don't know how many, but to express our sincere appreciation, gratitude, and thanks, Ann, for your service and for your efforts to help maintain a good Newberry County. We wish you and your husband Godspeed and a wonderful and joyful and good retirement. Retirement is good, I can tell you that. So God bless you and have a good time.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
And if I can just say, it's been great and most of the time fun working, especially with this board. At the 2 more weeks or 3 weeks from now, I would have been here 18 years.
Oh, man.
A long time to be in one job. And I'm glad to hear that retirement is fun because I'm a little scared of being retired. I've worked since I was 17 years old.
You won't regret it, I promise.
I hope not.
It's fun. And welcome to Miss Katie.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr.
Glad to have
Wayne.
you. Look forward to
Excellent.
working with you.
Yes, we look forward to, you have big shoes to fill, we look forward to working with you. Is there no other business? Miss Ann, you have a motion?
I do. If there's no other business, Mr. Chairman, I move for the adjournment.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, arise and depart in peace.
You said